Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Larkin. Today we will be talking about the after movie, and I'll be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions and reviewing it. So yeah, personally, I loved the movie. I've seen it like a million times already. Think that everybody did a phenomenal job, like all the actors, the casts, they did great. I think that overall, if you went to go see the movie, that you would still leave the movie theater somewhat, happy. It made me tear up in some parts. It was still a good movie, but obviously with every movie there's pros and cons, and I'll be talking about both of them. So first, let's talk about the cons, or the negative parts or the bad parts of the movie. They weren't really bad, they were just different from the book, so a lot of people are disappointed with it. Okay, so the first thing is, obviously, if you've seen the movie, Hardin is not Hardin from the book. He is definitely more nicer and softer in the book. We all know that he's kind of a jerk and he's mean to everyone. He has like his own problems. I think that the only reason that they made him nicer or softer in the movie was because I think they wanted more people to actually like his character. If you read the books and you went into the movie and you've seen Hardin being soft, you kind of think it's like weird. But if you went in and you never read the books and you walked in and you've seen Hardin from the book, people would probably think that his character is like mean. They probably wouldn't like his character. I think that they tried to play it safe, like way too safe. I think that they thought that people wouldn't like that, like him being like that, and some people probably wouldn't like how, Tessa and Hardin's relationship sometimes could be, destructive. I think that it was important for them to show, the relationship. That's the whole point of the book. It's supposed to be about a couple with actual problems, and, Tessa and Hardin have their own personal problems that they have to deal with, and then, it kind of makes their relationship, hard, In the book, some people would say that their relationship is a little bit toxic, and in the movie, it doesn't show that at all. They fight like maybe once or twice, and it's not even really that big of a fight. So I wish they would have not tried to play it so safe. I think that, I hate to say this, but I think that they were trying to make it more lovey and romantic, sort of like, a cliche romantic movie, instead of showing actual problems in a relationship. And I feel like that's what Anna wanted with her books, was, show a real relationship and their problems and the troubles they go through, but you don't really see that in the movie at all. So I wish they would have, done things different in that department. Hardin was nice. I feel like every character was meaner than Hardin in the movie. He did, he was very nice and playful with Tessa, which he still is in the book, but in different ways, in their own, private conversations. But in the movie, he was nice to her and playful with her everywhere they went, and he was nice to Karen. Oh, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry. But he was nice to Karen when they were at the wedding. He was congratulations. He was very open with Tessa too, which in the book, he's not really. He, shared the whole information with his mother. At the wedding, I remember watching it for the first time, and I was giddy and covering my mouth and gasping at every part because I was so excited. And usually they were a good gasps. But I remember watching it for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, at the wedding scene, whenever he started to tell Tessa about his mom. And it wasn't really in a good way, because I just remember feeling, or thinking that's not how he would do it, and it was very personal for him in the book, and it was a really important part in the book. So whenever he told her just casually at the wedding, I was really disappointed at that part, because I feel like it was more of an intimate conversation in the book. They should have done it somewhere that wasn't at a wedding where there's a bunch of people around and music playing. And I feel during Kim's speech, Hardin from the book would have got up and called him out, and he didn't do that in the movie. I also think that there wasn't a lot of drama. I know that probably sounds weird, but I feel like you were waiting through this whole movie and you were waiting for something like really great to happen, like some really like important drama to make the movie just spark. And I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to make, you know, the bet scene be, you know, that part of the movie, but it didn't really do that for me. I mean, I still loved the movie, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they tried to play it down, again, like play it safe. Obviously, if you've read the book, you know that the bet scene is a very important part in the first movie, and that everything that he does and says and shows his friends is like pretty, you know, disgusting and bad, and it's really like a big part and dramatic in the book, but in the movie it wasn't like that. It was just more played down, I feel like, and it wasn't as dramatic as it could have been. If they would have made the bet scene that like in the book, like in the movie, I feel like it would have been so much better, more exciting, I feel, more drama, which I feel like it would have been better. They should have just kept the same bet scene. But during the bet scene, let me just point out that I think Jo, who plays Tessa, did a great job. Like, she sold it, and so did Hero. Whenever he was looking at her and was like talking to her, the first time I went and seen it, I was like tearing up, I was like crying. I felt so bad. It was still like an emotional, you know, part of the movie, but there wasn't really that spark or like drama I feel like it needed. I think, they didn't even include Zed into the bet scene. It was in the movie, it's more of like a dare scene than anything. It's more of like a dare than a bet, but they didn't even add him in it. Like, Zed in the whole movie had like maybe 3 lines, which in the book he plays such an important role, you know, and throughout the book series, like he's a pretty important character. Like, he's, you know, going after Tessa during the whole book series. So I don't know if we do get a second movie, if they will, you know, just completely not put that in there, which I kind of wanted to see because it's sort of important, I feel like. But yeah, he was barely in the movie. He had like 3 lines. Jace, which I don't even like his character in the book at all, he had more lines than Zed in the book. He was like more important, I sort of feel like, which is weird, but I still like Jace's character in the movie. He really sells the, you know, creepy vibe, which, you know, we all know that Jace is. He's pretty creepy. And Steph and Tristan's, I love them. I absolutely love that they made Tristan a female in this movie. I absolutely love it. I love their little scenes together. The part where they're like kissing on the bed, I love it. I shipped them so hard. Another not so good thing about the movie would be, I feel like the dialogue really isn't there. Like, I feel like they barely move, like they barely talk during the movie. Tessa and Hardin, they have like their moments, but whenever they do talk, it's like very little. I feel like the whole movie was sort of just put together with clips and little like montage scenes with like just like them not talking, just like with music playing. Which, don't get me wrong, I love those scenes. They're so cute. I love every single one. Like the pillow fighting scene, it was adorable. Or the part where they're laying down and like having like a picnic or something, and he's like filling his mouth up and she's laughing. All those scenes are so cute and I love them, but I wish there would have been more talking, because I feel like the dialogue just wasn't really there. If we do get a second movie, they either need to make the dialogue better or get like a new screenwriter, because it wasn't really that good. There was somebody who basically, you know, said the same thing that I'm saying in this video, but commented on one of Anna's posts on Instagram, basically saying that, you know, they think that they played it safe, that they should have showed more of like the relationship that is in the book, where, you know, they fight more. And Anna agreed with this person. She commented back and said that she agrees 100%, that she didn't really have a whole lot of say in it, but that she's going to make it up to us. So, you know, I hope she means like if we get a second movie, it will be more of like the book than anything, because After We Collided is like my favorite book of the series. I love it so much. I think it's very important, you know, these days to show movies, or, you know, make it come to life, that relationships aren't always perfect. People have their own problems to deal with within themselves, and whenever you put that into a relationship, two people making a couple, you know, they're going to have their problems. I think it's, you know, pretty important to show that, and they kind of flopped doing that in this movie. They didn't show it at all. I do love it though. So everything I do like about it, like I already said, I think the whole cast did an amazing job. I think everyone was phenomenal. I love that, you know, after the bet scene, it shows Tessa like emailing Kimberly, which Kim, I'm like so excited because if we do get a second movie, I hope she's in the movie because she's like pretty important. I feel like she's always been a good friend to Tessa. They kind of like made it more realistic with the apartment situation. In the book, he just like buys them an apartment for them to live there. In the movie, they made it more realistic. I feel like he's just like watering the plants for a professor that his dad knows, and they're gonna stay there. I think that that's more realistic. It's still cute, it's still theirs. The bathtub scene when he writes "I love you," it was so adorable. I absolutely adored it. I loved all their intimate scenes, you know, them kissing, and then whenever they finally do it for the first time, I think it's cute. I know some people are upset that there wasn't a whole lot of sex scenes, but you know, if they did show all the sex scenes from the book, like the whole movie would just be about that. And I feel like it's not really realistic to show that in a movie that's like an hour and 45 minutes long. So I think they did enough in that part. I feel like if we do have another movie, which I hope we do, I do want them to show a little bit more of it because it is a part of the relationship, I feel like. I think that it was so important for, you know, Tessa to go back and see her mom and then apologize to Noah, because we don't really get that in the book. I mean, we do whenever she sees him again, but I think it was good that they like showed that she went back and she felt bad and she apologized to Noah, because it was important. And I love how he sort of kind of wasn't mad at her. He just kind of understood that they weren't really in love. They were just more of like together because they've known each other their whole lives. But I liked that scene. And the scene whenever he finds out about Tessa and Hardin, it was so sad. I felt so bad for Noah's character. Like, the acting was phenomenal. It was great. I remember just like, oh, I was so heartbroken when I seen it. I was like, oh, that's so sad. Molly's character. I love Molly's character. Anana did an amazing job. She's actually who I like pictured to play Molly without me actually knowing who she was. Like, that's how I pictured Molly, sort of. And also the person who plays Zed, Samuel, I think his name is. That's exactly how I pictured Zed being too, which both of them didn't really get that much screen time in the movie, which is disappointing because they're both pretty important and I love their characters. But anyways, I think Molly, she was like, in the book, I feel like she hates Tessa because she, you know, she feels like Tessa's like taking Hardin away from her. But in the movie, it kind of just feels like she hates Tessa because she just hates her. Like, maybe because she's coming in and she's new to the group and she feels insecure. I'm not really sure. But, and actually she's not as bitchy in the movie as she is in the book, which I wish she would have been. But she still did, I still think, you know, she's still mean. The bathroom scene when they're talking, like, I just remember like watching it and I was like, ugh. She's like an instigator. It's like she tries to like make problems during the bonfire scene, which I'm so glad that they like put that in there but made it in its own little way. I'll talk about that in a minute. In the bonfire scene when she suggests doing suck and blow, like, she was obviously trying to get a rise out of Hardin, and she makes drama. That's like the only part of the movie that was like drama, really. But anyways, I like how they put new scenes in the movie that weren't in the book, because I feel like it sort of made it its own, which I feel like is important. You know, every movie isn't just based off the book or like just like the book. It does have those own little moments, and I'm glad that they put their own little parts in there, like the library scene and the aquarium scene. Both beautiful, and I loved it, and they were like so cute. It made my heart warm. But they still added parts in the book. I seen some people saying that there wasn't like enough parts from the book, but they did, but they just put their own spin on it. Like, obviously in the book there's a bonfire scene, and there was still a bonfire scene in the movie, but it wasn't exactly like as it was in the book. And then in the book they play suck and blow, but they still played it in the movie. It's just they did it like sort of differently, which are still two parts from the book. They just put them together. And obviously they have the apartment and the vet scene, and they're still in the lake scene. It was so cute. That's like the first time they kissed, I'm pretty sure, in the movie, which I'm not mad at. I still think it was cute. I loved the whole scene. It was adorable. Like in the movie, Tessa has more nerve. Like she's more like, she sticks up for herself more. In the book she still does that, but I feel like she's like more quiet. In the movie she just straight up asked Hardin like, are you embarrassed of me? And like she kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but she's different. Like, I feel like she's meaner than Hardin in the movie, which I'm not mad at. I mean, good for Tessa. Carol, she's motherly. In the movie she's not. I mean, she's motherly. I mean, in the book she's motherly, but you know, she's very, I can't explain her, but in the movie, like, she kisses on Tessa and hugs her and tells her how like she's gonna miss her. And in the book I don't really think she does that a whole lot. There was their little fighting scene where, you know, she walks in, and I called it in my last video when I was like doing my predictions. I thought that, you know, that's what I predicted, that Carol was gonna come in while Tessa and Hardin are like kissing or, you know, doing something intimate, and that's exactly what happened in the movie. Like, she walked in while they were like making out, and I remember like watching it and was like, oh my god, because I just thought it was hilarious. But then, you know, they have their little fight in the like staircase or whatever, walkway in the hallway, and says that she's gonna cut her off if she doesn't, you know, stop talking or stop being with Hardin. And of course, you know, Tessa doesn't do that, so that's why they get their apartment together. I think that the ending of the movie was good. Like, I think that they ended it to where if we don't get a second movie, I will be content. Obviously I want there to be a second movie, but I think they ended it with at a place where if we don't get a second movie, it will be okay. His like letter, or you know, whatever he wrote, like a letter he kind of wrote to her, I like have it memorized. I've seen the movie so many times already. Before I even seen the movie, I kept on watching spoilers, so I feel like I've seen the movie like a million times. It's so heartfelt. Like, I think it was one of the best parts of the movie, one of the best qualities of the movie, putting that in there. And then the ending, when they're sitting down and like they look at each other, at first I was like, oh my god, he's not going to say I love you to her at all in this movie. You know, he wrote it on her back, but he never actually says it. And then the ending happens, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I want there to be a second movie. Obviously, I pray. So if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. It's called After. It's an amazing movie. You know, even though I feel like I kind of like have talked bad about the movie, overall I still love it, and I still think it's a good movie. I went and seen it Saturday. I went and seen it yesterday, and I'm going to go see it again today. Like, I'm going to go watch it a million times. It's like one of the movies that I'll never get tired of seeing. I love it, and I'm so glad that we got to see their characters like actually come to life. We got to see the characters and, you know, the book come to life, and I'm so proud of, you know, Hero and Joe and everybody on the cast, and Anna. I'm so happy. I've been like watching and seeing how good the movie's been doing, and I think it's like #1 in so many other countries, and here it's made like, I don't know exactly how much it's made here, but I know that I read somewhere that like made some like 2.9 million or something. I don't know, but it's a lot. I think that they said that by the end of the opening weekend that it was going to be like 6 point something million, which is good, I think, for a movie. I'm not sure. I don't know things like that, but hopefully we get a second movie. And I've like seen people on Instagram and online saying that if we do get a second movie, you know, there has to be this scene and this scene and this scene from the book, and I agree. Like, it's my favorite book out of the series is the second one, and I love like the scene where Tessa goes to Seattle. It's a good scene, it better be in there. And also the scene when she finds out, you know, Carol goes to the apartment and like flips out, and then, you know, he says that thing to Carol. It's my favorite scene. So I hope that's like all in the second movie, if we get a second movie. I don't know, one of the directors or somebody on Instagram, I've seen one of the fan pages that I follow share it. saying that those scenes are in the script for the second movie, if we get a second movie, so everybody go watch it. So that means that there's been talk about a second movie, enough to where, you know, they thought about, you know, what scenes they're going to put in there. So that's good. I'm excited. Overall, I love the movie, and I do think it's worth like a watch. Like, if you've read the book, and if you haven't read the book, it's still a cute movie. It's not exactly how we would want it, the people who's read the books. But if you haven't read the books and you walked in there, it's still like a good love story. But overall, I loved it, and I think you guys should go watch it because it's amazing. And I know I've said it so many times, I'm rambling at this point. But I love it, and it's so good, and I'm so happy with it. Every movie has, you know, good things about it and bad things about it. There's always going to be people who hate on it. If you hate on it, go on somewhere. I'm just kidding, you know. But anyways, I think it was great. You should go and watch it because it's a good movie. See you guys in my next video. Hey guys, I just went and seen the movie for the third time with my cousin, and I just figured it would be nice to get his opinion on the movie. Obviously, he's never read the book. I just made him go with me. So, what did you think about it?
It was a good movie overall, but it kind of felt rushed. Like,
a little bit, you think?
Yeah.
Some people were saying that it felt a little rushed. Did you think it was a good movie though?
To be honest, the movie was awesome, but some scenes were just like kind of weird because they were like cut differently and all weird and just it was kind of random.
Did you think it was like? Did it show like their love good? Like it was a good love story?
Yeah, overall, yeah.
I know that I told you it's different in the book. Like he's, you know, it's different.
Yeah, he's dick in the book.
Yeah. You got anything else you want to say?
No.
Did you like the ending? Was
it
sad?
The ending was kind of cheesy.
What? Why?
I just don't know. To be honest, it kind of seemed a bit cheesy.
I thought it was great.
Well, it kind of is like this is a stereotypical ending, but to a love story. But yeah.
But you thought it was good. It was worth seeing.
Yeah, it was worth seeing. I would watch it. 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10? Wow, that's not that good. Anyways, I just wanted to say that this is the third time seeing it, and I feel like it definitely gets better, like, the more times you watch it. Like, watching it again, like, my heart, like, fluttered still at, like, certain scenes, and I just loved it. I think
our movie theater had no one in it. We were the only two people in the movie theater.
It's still doing good here, I think. I mean, I know it's #1, like, everywhere else in the world where it's at. Regardless, I still loved it. You guys should check it out. Bye.